Hello and good morning and good afternoon, good evening, welcome. It is the 9th day of April 2017. This video will be an exclusive one towards BELA. The only other video planned for today is a silver chart. The Bitcoin chart hasn't been doing too much, so unless something happens, maybe tonight, definitely into Monday. If you're wondering about things like PivX, I've had one small day trade buy order and sell order filled over the last 3 days or so, and that is it. So its price isn't moving, and I won't be doing a chart for until it moves somewhere or a few days. But this one, lots of information within the BELA chart, some extra upside targets. Well, the main one extra including 58,812. I'll get into that in a little bit. I got longer term charts, I got volatility charts, things to help decide where we stand. Is this actually a top, and thus on the daily chart a correctionary phase? So let's get through this. I do a lot of Fibonacci analysis, and this video will be no exception. So the one levels that I'm using is from the last time it broke below this 18 average on the daily chart. I'm going to talk a lot more about this, or a little more at the end. And within such, it has a 61.8% level, which translates to 38.2% down, in at 86.58, which coincides with the previous resistance. It also works within the 18 average of lows right now, and in a little while it would be below it. I would be looking for a move basically here and even a little bit lower as far as where I would put a good buy total or signal in. Last time I had two levels in. One was around here, which worked out to be the lower end of the 18 average, and then again roughly here, and I got every single buy order filled with the exception of a small few the last time. So that worked out really well in comparison, of course, bottoming in here, which also could have happened. We could look at different things as well, all these higher highs and higher lows, and the last low is this one here. It's a breakout low after a correction through time. And that level is 7,002. And its key Fibonacci points are in at 12,550, which is the current price level. And again at 10,443, which coincides with just the even 10K number. And usually these numbers pierce below. The 12.5 was no exception. So for myself, I have the following as far as share sizes is concerned. This was when I started, and this was its first top of 7,000 as it was time for me to get out. This was that bottom at 26. But then I decided in here, you know what, this getting in and out kind of stuff that I was doing in here, man, that works well. What didn't work well was extremely low volatility with the move, so I decided here to step it up a bit, and then I realized it wasn't even up enough again. So in here I decided the volatility's got to go up for myself. It did. I'm glad I did that, because getting in and out for buying low and selling high has been very, very easy. But of course now the amount of share sizes has went down, and what I've bought has been basically nothing, or just very small. It just means that 12.5, and that was a pierce below. I actually was buying in at 11 high, because that was where I felt that it was a good spot to start buying. Below that, 10,000. A little higher than it was at 12. And below that, much higher than it was before. The most highest level, because this is the area I think has the best area for your buy probability versus risk reward, meaning what's the chances you get in, what's the chances that this ultimately becomes a major top versus the amounts that you'll get towards the upside. It's always nice when you can buy in or around that low area. Of course, I'll be talking more about these lower areas just a little bit later on, but let's switch this time frame up to the 5-day chart. This goes back to about 4 days after the inception, because as of now, it's about 754 days that I got on the Crypto Compare website for the trading data. So it's run from the start, and its first 4 days was nothing really. It was all just a bunch of sideways nothing. But this thing down here is like 20. And it's went from 20 to its current price action of 12,205. I have an insane level here. We'll talk a little bit about that. It's really tough to go on that. But the whole purpose of this number is that these things are wildly insane. And this compares me a lot to the NASDAQ move of the 1990s and 80s even. The only difference is, or two differences, or two things. One difference, yes. The volatility of these cryptos is extremely that much larger than, of course, the NASDAQ stocks were. That's one. Number two, where in comparison are we? I have to think it's not 1999 and 2000 yet. I think that the upward movement for these cryptos has a decent amount of time, but I do think you have to be concerned that a similar type of bubble is going to have to happen within this community at some point, whether it be a major top or a correction. You can't go have these major gains and then not have such. That's what I think anyway. And then you say to yourself, well, man, it was at 75. It's up so much. Man, it's just so hard to get in because it's up so much. And that's, I think, the opposite. The reason why you want to get in. Of course, you want to find the best spots. But if you think 75 to 12,000 is too high, would you have been thinking the same thing when it went from 75 to 400? Or how about 75 to 2,000? Or 75 to 5,000? 75 to 12,000, 75 to 50,000, 75 to 500,000. That's the type of way that I look at this, is in I don't think that the longer term bull market is going to be over. Now the Fibonacci low that I use is this one. Reason why? Because that was the last time it had any type of sustained downtrend. Wasn't much of one, but it's the only one. It did have a move below this 18 average band, and its low number is 75. So what we have here is a situation where you have this line in at, is this a mistake number? This should be, yeah, what this is this, I was just trying to see what the 38 number was. I didn't fix it back. This is a 76.4, and it's around 5,000. Basically, the point that I want to make is, well, that would be the obvious best buying spot, is this area right now. But you can also make a case that there's going to be further gains. Why? Why would you say that? Fibonacci usually happens to meet up in great spots. And quite frankly, this isn't great. And especially how well Fibonacci's been running since the start of the whole tenure that I've been talking about this. I'd like to see this line move up a bit to here and a bit to here. So one thing this might be telling me is that this upward trend is not going to be destroyed, and that the absolute lowest I think this price should go, if the trend does remain, would be in this area. Around 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, that ballpark area. in towards there. And yes, I got more information stating that this thing could still be going up well over the next little while. But as far as the volatility is concerned, 44% is the average. And it would take a little over a year for silver to say, yeah, I've had 44% volatility. Gold, about 4 years. The Dow, about 2. It's not a nice upride, but it's still 2 years. The dollar index, almost 1 decade. Bitcoin, well, 33 days. TLT, which is the bond ETF, 6 years of this extreme volatility like this. Now, I can probably go to many other crypto charts, give you similar and even at times larger volatility, which shows that this is almost like, in comparison to poker, like playing those fast games where you can like skip fold. They call it Zoom and Poker Stars, where you can almost play about as many hands as you would play in one day on the computer. You would take about a month and change to play at a live casino. That's what I'm getting at. You can do much more volume in a quicker amount of time. Well, that's pretty much what this is as far as trading is concerned. So the moves that you would normally make if you're trading with a normal broker in maybe 3 weeks is what you're getting in a couple days here, which does make this an exciting risk-reward situation. And I do think probabilities for many of the cryptos are very, very good right now. Okay, let's continue on with the final charts. And you have no idea what this is because it's just a bunch of wavy lines and I got nothing written in, but I'm going to explain it. What it is this 18 average we see in here. And it is what percentage the price is above or even below the 18 average of highs. So at this point, what was the price, and then so on and so forth. And when we take a look at this, what I'm seeing, and this is during its entire duration run, is that this is 20% over the band. This is 20% under the band. So you'd be doing pretty darn near good if what you did was buy here and sell in here. Now let's take a look at this a little bit better, as I'm just going to show the last little bit and improve the quality of this chart. There we have it. So there's the 20 number down here. There's the 20 number in here. The last time it reached these levels, this was the 7,000 top that I was talking about, where my target was 5 to 6K. This was that great buying opportunity I also talked about as well. And well, here we ride again above this key number. So therefore, what we have seen is on the pullbacks from this point, comes back down to basically at the 18 average of highs when you hit it at the 0. Has another good move. This was the move, of course, to the top, which, by the way, is in the same area as here. So that goes to show you what I talk about. If this area is not resistance, you're going to have an explosive move, and this thing is going to skyrocket high. But you've had what would be a small correction thus far to this band. But I'm going to be looking more for the price action to go down 20% below the 18 average of highs to be more of a buyer. So therefore, right now, that 18 average of highs is at 11. So we'll divide that by 1.2. That's 2,200. So you're looking at around the 9,000 level, which again, coinciding with this mark in here. And when I've calculated this, I probably should have calculated a little bit better. I should have used a swing line. And actually, the next time I will use which actually shows key highs and lows. This is what the last price is, or the closing price. But yeah, I'm just thinking that for me, any move down here is where the aggressive buying comes into play. I'm going to look to speculate a little bit at 10K just in case. But the most aggressive buying spot, I think, is in at around the 86 handle level. Take care.